Welcome to Clydesdale Media. Fueled by C4, Cellucor, and Extend. Use the code Clydesdale to get 20% off at checkout at c4energy.com. The 2023 season series with some amazing athletes. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you're first to know when new episodes are available. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Presents the athletes of the 2023 CrossFit Games season. We are so pumped to have with us today the one and only Matt Poulin. Matt, what's going on?
Not much, Scott. How you doing? I know you've been grinding away with all these interviews and podcasts. I can't imagine all the work that goes into that.
Yeah, it can be a lot, especially this week. I've been fighting on and off the flu. And so this morning I felt good, did a workout in the garage, did Cindy today with some snatch work, and then all of a sudden my head filled again.
I feel like it's like working out when you're sick. So it's like a hit or a miss. Sometimes you do it and you get done with it and you're like, oh, I feel great. Or like, I just feel better than what I was. And then sometimes you go in, you do it and you're like, I feel absolutely worse. It's kind of a coin toss. I feel like I remember a few years ago. So 2020, when COVID hit, I think we got it around Christmas time. But for me, I was pretty fortunate enough where COVID didn't affect me too much. It kind of just felt like really bad allergies. And so, right, I'll take the week off from work. That's nice. But I was also like, I can't take a week off from not training or working out. I got to do something. And so I would go, my mom lived around the corner and we didn't have a garage at the time. She had a garage. So I just kind of would put what little equipment I had, barbell or whatnot, in there, some weights. But during I think every single time I had COVID, I just kind of went to my mom's garage and still worked out. Was pretty lucky enough, while Abigail was also sick, but she was bedridden. She was always kind of upset that I was still able to I think I worked on the house. One time I got it, I just worked on my house all week, just outside, it's like, yeah, I'll take the vacation from work. So
yeah, I worked out earlier this week. It was horrible. And then it was, there's no way to do it on Wednesday. And then today's the first time I felt like my strength coming back. Mm-hmm. And I thought, okay, I'm over it. And then bam, slapped in the face this afternoon. Maybe it's just like everything opened up while I was working out. And now it's just kind of like closing up again. And I just got to get it kind of out of my system. But
yeah, maybe.
But not enough about me. Enough about me. Before we went live, you were telling me why vests are better than coats.
Yeah, we'll slash back in on that. So what I've come to find from my findings this past winter have been, like I said, if you're on audio, you can't see, but if you have video of this, you could see what I'm rocking. But I found that an insulated vest without anything underneath is been at least my way to go as of late. And I explained why.
And this is like to the grocery store, to Target, whatever you need to do.
Yeah, like not very often do I go out, right? Usually when I go out, or like out of the house every day, it's just to the gym and then back home. But, sometimes, when you got to go to Target or grocery store, it's like, I'm not going to put too much thought into what I'm wearing. But I found the thing that allows me to stay pretty warm outside and then not too hot as well inside is just a vest with nothing underneath. Because the problem with say an insulated just jacket or coat is it's not very breathable at times. And so, you start getting a little sweaty, a little muggy underneath kind of the armpits. And, you just start having to do little shakes here and there to get some flow. And I've just found that, the most important thing of being cold, and obviously survivalist, different type of scenario if we get there, but for leisure purposes is like, I just need my core warm. I just need my main body part warm. And if I can have my arms kind of, room temp or just a little bit, just flowy, able to breathe, then I found that's worked the best for me. And you get some looks.
And when you've got
some looks, and you're like, what are you doing?
The 26-inch pythons, They can't be caged, man.
Doesn't help, I guess,
just
or it
gotta,
doesn't hurt.
you
It
know.
doesn't hurt at times. So, and like I said too, I think with age, with aging, like fine wine, is the ability to not really care what other people think anymore. So, maybe this is high school days, probably a little more insecure about this and won't do it. But you know what? I don't. As long as I feel comfortable and I like how it looks, that's all that matters.
Well, our listener Kenneth says you look
Best.
like Gaston.
Oh, you have to inform me a little bit on
You don't know
Gaston.
who Gaston
Sorry.
is?
I'm sorry. No, not off the top of my head.
Disney movie,
From which movie?
Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
obviously the Disney movie. Growing up, that probably wasn't my bread and butter. I was more of like the Hercules. 101 Dalmatians was one of my favorites. I actually watched that a few months ago just for the nostalgia of it. I'm like, oh, I miss this. Miss when you didn't have any responsibilities. I think that's the great thing
Yeah.
about Disney Plus, why it's that time where you can just kind of, sit on the couch or wherever you're at. And then for that brief hour and a half, you kind of just fade away from the world and you can kind of just sit back into your childhood and just kind of not feel the pressures or the stress of the world. And you just get to kind of go back in your little happy time capsule.
Well, you will have to Google Gaston.
I will. Is he the bad guy? He's not. Is he the bad guy? Okay. Well, I know who he is. Yeah. Like I don't think I've actually watched Beauty and the Beast from like start to finish.
Yeah. Well, he has a brown vest and he pulls his hair back into a ponytail. And so, yeah, you've got the look going on, man.
It's hair's starting to finally get to where I can put it in a bun. Still probably got a good month where I feel confident with it. We're enough. I still got some stragglers here and there, but pretty soon I'll be cleaning it up, kind of probably tapering the sides and the back, so that's nice and clean cut, like semi-businessy, even though not at all. You can't still wear a bun in business, but
well, you got to be as streamlined as possible. Streamlined as possible for semis, right?
Yeah, we might. Like I said, I got a few options when it comes to look wise breaking out this year. I think. So until I was able to get in a bun, I could just do pigtails. And so I'm like, I'll rock pigtails. Once again, I don't really care too much. And so one of my gym owners, Zach, he kind of came up with the little coin phrase, or you want to call them the power piggies. And I'm like, boom, there's our market. There's a marketing strategy there. I'm just get a shirt. My brother-in-law, he's a med school, which he's kind of a wizard in all things, but he's med school, but he also does a lot of, he gets paid to do murals, like very artistic and all that as well, but also does graphic design. And so whenever I got an idea of a design, I just go to him like, hey man, what about if you think about this? And then he'll come back with something really cool. So I think it's something we can go power piggies. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Got to be careful, man. You got to be careful. Colton Mertens, he's probably has trademarks on some pig stuff.
I didn't think of that.
So you gotta ride that fine line.
I'll reach out with them. Like, is this encroaching on your patent at all, or any copyrights you have? I didn't think of that. But just a few options we can go with. You gotta. I don't know what it is. I think I just enjoy it just because it's kind of it's a fun time to kind of just express, I don't know, different parts of yourself, just however it is. Just kind of go in, and in the end, I don't care what you look like when I'm competing, but I don't know if I can just have fun with it going in, and then obviously have fun with it when you're on the floor, and ideally crushing everybody. Then I don't know. That's it's all about. So just cool ways to.
So let's talk about the floor now that we've solved all these issues.
Absolutely.
You just finished up quarterfinals.
Yes.
The leaderboard has been fluid, to say the least, over the past several days, as I think Barbell Spin is reporting over 3,000 scoring adjustments have been made since Sunday.
Really?
And but it doesn't look like you have moved much in that time.
I don't know if it's too late, but but everything I've had has gotten validated, so I don't think they can go back and really change it. But
Nope.
luckily for me, first time since quarterfinals started is I did not get any penalties this year, so that was cool. I guess I don't know. It's nice to get it done right the first time and not have to, I don't know, fall victim to just penalties because they're just not fun. Because it's like obviously it's out of your in the time it's in your control to maybe do the movement properly or how they need to the standards, but when it's done and then you just see them kind of changing the score however they see kind of fit, then it sucks a little bit because it's out of your control. Like last year on the pistol workout, where like I was screaming through that one. Like I was very proud of my performance on the GHD pistol muscle up one, and then I got banged pretty good on on a penalty with my pistols. Which was a hidden depth? I don't know, but I know I felt like I was, but it's always that. Like that's the one movement, right? Everyone's like, it's hard to judge on a camera because you can't even see the other side. And so, anyways, happy that all scores went in, all scores came back the same. So that's a plus. I'm happy there. And two of them, I was waiting on 3 and 4. Those were the ones that for me took the longest. And I think they didn't come validated till what's today? Friday. So I think it was Wednesday. So it was a good handful of
early,
days.
man.
You really felt, I was like, I'm waiting for him. And even though it's, most likely, even with penalties, you're still fine, but it's still like, I don't want to drop some heats now, like because of a little penalty. I got to stay at the top so I can, like I said, what I learned from last year is I don't want to be going in that bottom heats. Like I want to be, or the first few heats, you want to be going in the last heats from the get go. So a little stressful waiting on those because I knew 4 which I felt I did everything well in that, especially when it came to like timing off the rower. I know a lot of that was becoming an issue. People were kind of getting off a little early or people weren't able to see their monitors. Like I was pretty proud that my setup, I made sure everything was checked off on 4, and luckily I came back and didn't get a penalty. So that was happy with that one. So, but now that they're all good, cleared up, good to go, ready to just attack training next week.
So I've talked to a full handful of athletes this week, and you and Amanda Barnhart are the only 2 that have all 5 validated.
Really?
At last I knew.
Oh,
a
dang,
lot of the other athletes have 1 hanging out.
I guess I'm pretty lucky then. I'll take it because whether you, like I said, probably a lot of people you talk to are pretty confident that their scores won't be dramatically changed where it knocks them out, but it's still not. It's still stressful. It's still things that it's out of your control at this point. So it doesn't help just knowing that the thing's still lingering around, just waiting for it to get finalized. So, I'm very happy and fortunate, I guess, that mine are all good to go.
So we talked the whole way through this thing. You find out that you are 12th in the West. Is that still where you're sitting?
I think about there 12th, 13th, one of those. It's kind of obviously it's moving around because people ahead are bopping here and there. So, but yeah, about there.
And looking back on the weekend, you happy with how you approached it, how you attacked it, all of those things?
Like overall, yes, happy with it. There was a few times in the workouts where I had to take a shot, and at the very end of the workout, like for the handstand push-up one, say for the first workout, just had to like kind of go for it that last set, and just didn't have enough in the tank to push it out. Added another 20-30 seconds to my time. Like obviously you play the woulda, coulda, shoulda. Oh, if I would have hit that last one, where would I be at? A few of those things, which it happens, and you try to eliminate them best you can. But sometimes that is the name of the game. You have to go for it, and you're not always going to get it. But happy for the most part. Like 2 and 4 are my best ones. The engine type of just go workouts. So got to capitalize on the ones you're good at. The last rope climb one, I found I just got to work on my efficiency. Like and I think like it's not like my rope climbs are terrible, still pretty good at them. But I think like seeing people that shouldn't be beating me, I think everybody relatively got to the rope at the same time, pretty darn close. And so it was just a matter of how efficient can you be on the rope climbs. People that shouldn't be beating me on that, like that I know I'm fitter, are beating me, and I think that just comes down to me and just efficiency on them. Especially on the back half. The first 4 or 5, you feel pretty good. Well, I'd say 4, 5 were started to hit, at least hitting it for me on that 5th rope climb. But the first, 4, you're like, oh, feeling good, and then it just hits like a brick, or like a brick house. If your efficiency is just not there. So overall, happy, some highs, especially learning the crossovers. I think we did touch on that story last time, but hands like super fortunate that Abigail came with me. She wasn't even going to come down to regionals or with quarterfinals with me. She was going to work, and then in the background she was slyly doing her little devious maneuvering to get out of work to not get out of work, but she made it work. She wanted to come, and obviously her being there always makes it better for me. Just always my safe place when she's around. But her being there, like, I probably most likely would not have gotten the proper jump rope to do it. And I would have probably just tried to fight through with a normal speed rope, and definitely, like, who knows what happens. Obviously I don't get the score that I do, but so I don't know, something like, I feel like a lot of these, like, that was my best workout, I think, too. So like a big part in how well I did was just her being there and her being willing to just go run to Target real quick, go get the rope, and come back right before we started. So very grateful and happy that she came. Because it definitely had like an objective effect on the weekend. So, but yeah, happy to get over the things I can improve on and work on, which that's what we got these 2 months for. I don't know, ready to go. Pretty excited to hit into semifinals training, which I think on top of it is also a win for me because, like I said, I'll be kind of honest. I don't know the last time I've been like truly excited for training. And so it's kind of, I think all the work I've done with like my therapist and just all the little things I've been trying to work on when it comes to approaching workouts and just all your pre workout routines and just getting in that mindset to excel the best that you can, I think has been working and paying off. And so not gonna lie, first time for a long time, I'm kind of excited to get ramped up into training and see what we can go do.
Okay. So I have 2 paths I want to go down here. So we'll have to go forward on one and then come back and catch this. First, when we talked to you during the open, right, there were moments where, like the pull-up bar height on event 2, that you were just like, well, whatever. I don't have time to move this to that, and I'm just going to get through it. Then I talked to you at quarterfinals, and Elle was in the background saying that you need to practice how you're going to play. And it seemed like all those little things that kind of got you during the open were eliminated when you went down to Louisiana for quarters. How much of that is attributed to Elle and Abigail?
Well, yeah, I would say a significant amount of that is in part. I think, and I don't want to dwell on this too much because I don't want to like have my brain go back to those thoughts processes. But like right when the open was around, there was like this fear inside of me, just thinking like I had to repeat what I did last year, and like it was. Sometimes it was like easier for me just to say, I don't know, it's bad to sound like, it was easier for me just like, oh well, like let's not adjust the pull-up bar. Like it was kind of giving me an out to be like, you don't have to get second again. And I think once it's the open, yeah.
Let me stop you one and maybe I can put this into perspective because I know you don't want to go back to this place. So I'm going to try to sum it up.
Yeah.
Matt Fraser said in the 2 years prior to him winning the games, he didn't change his diet. He did things the way he'd always done, and it left him a built-in excuse if he failed.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the same thing you're saying?
I would agree. Yeah. And as I guess, what's the word, like ashamed. I don't want to say shame, but I was ashamed, like he says, to admit that. Like, yeah, it's probably where my head was at back then, or it was where my head was at. And I think once the open was over, and I knew like it was like a fresh slate. Like, okay, now it's, I don't know, like that part was over. I didn't have to repeat what I did. It's over. It's in the back. It's in the rearview mirror. Now I can like freely just go for it and just do my ability, not have the fear of quote unquote failing. And like I said, there's still work to be done because I probably shouldn't have had that mindset at all. But it just is what it is. That's what it was back then, and I'm happy that's not it anymore because I was able to prove that that's not the case this past week. So I'm just gonna keep on that train. Stay on that train.
I go to therapy once a month, and I'm not even an elite athlete. The mind plays funny tricks on you, and that stuff happens, right?
Yeah.
What I will say is the Matt I talked to during the Open and the Matt I talked to during quarterfinals were two very different people. There was a brightness to you at quarterfinals, and I don't know if Abigail got to play a bigger role because she wasn't working at the time. And I know you've always said, even the first time I ever talked to you way back when, that she is your safe space. Like, she is the love of your life. You guys are meant to be together, and that the two of you just have this symbiotic relationship, right? And I don't know if it's that or if Elle being right there, who seems, I don't know Elle very well, but he seems like this very positive person that helps keep the negativity out of your head.
Yes. Like, yes and yes. I would definitely agree. Like, I think Elle just always there, him being there. And this was the first time that was like, we've done this. Like, obviously we've been to like Wadapalooza 2 years ago and then semis last year together. But this was kind of like, honestly, the longest stint we've been together. And like obviously attacking the weekend together, or a longer weekend. But like, he's always there to help keep the mindset in check, and not like in a aggressive, like, like old, high school coach yelling in your face way. It's just like I say, hey, that's probably not the mindset you want. This is the mindset that we need. When it comes to, like I said, we talked about attacking each one of those workouts as if it was game time, like as if that's when it mattered. And which I don't think that wasn't so much the issue. It was the issue of, nobody wants to redo the workouts, right? Like, redoing them just isn't ideal. But I think, hey, was there checking me to be like, hey, if you need to be in a mental space to, if you have to redo these, you're ready to redo them and do better. And well, hell, we redid 2 of them. So more so on that, I think he's always there to help, quote unquote, check me, keep me in check, or at least my mindset, make sure it's in the right spot, of like that winner's mentality. And then Abigail's always there on the actual, like, like actual therapy type side of things, because that's what she is. That's what she does. She gone to school for 8 years. Like, she's more like on the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the professional, actual like side of things, scholastic type. Went to school for it. So she's like, I know I get the best of both worlds. One from a sports side of things, and one from like an actual well-being, like humanitarian, whatever the word would be, type of side, if that makes sense. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
And I think, and I think in a way, like, none of us husbands want our wives to be our therapist, right?
No.
But Abigail probably understands you to a point that if you drift into this frame of thinking, she can point that out to you and say, hey, come back here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's in no way is she like my actual, to explain that. Like, it's not in a bad way. Like, she obviously knows what her things, but we also agree, like, I go see sports therapists, but also we go see a therapist together, because you can't, like, and that's, I think any other therapist will tell you can't be your own relationships therapist and whatnot. But she has, like I said, she does have, like I said, her tool belt of things is very helpful to me sometimes, because so knowledgeable and passionate of actually what she does and what she of what she does.
So the other path I wanted to go down is you're excited to train again. When we first jumped the first episode of this, follow you through the season, there was this, I work out alone all the time. Sometimes it's a drag. Sometimes I don't want to get up and go, and I go through it, but it's not necessarily the best workout or the best training I could get. Now you're like recharged and ready to go. Did you put enough small wins together over this weekend for that? Or did you see something new in your potential moving forward? What is it that lit that wick?
I think it's a bit of obviously having the weekend pan out and seeing my performances and where they stack up and knowing that, okay, like I don't know. It's always nice to reassure that, okay, this is where you're meant to be, or like you are one of the top in the world. And like, it's not just something you have to tell yourself. Like it's nice to look at the leaderboard and then get reassured of that. That has helped. And I think also, knowing my performances this past week and still knowing that I still have more to I still have more to tap into. Like I'm still I was ready to attack for the quarterfinals, but I don't know, I got more that that's kind of making me more excited. Once we let's get 2 months behind our belt of intentional grinding away and knowing that our best is good enough and just kind of building on that confidence. And I'm first time in a while, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go smash some scores and I'm ready to go attack some workouts. I'm ready to go. I don't know. I'm just ready. So I think it's a combination of, stacking those wins, but knowing that hey, we're still not even at our best and we're still able to do these types of performances. And I'm excited. And so I think that's why I am excited to start new semi-finals training.
So last night I talked to Logan Ewing, and he had to change his approach to quarterfinals, because in the past he'd always looked at the weekend as a whole. And during workout 1, he would say, I need to save myself for workout 4 because that's where I can make my move. And this year he abandoned that altogether because it was too much. It was just too much overthinking. And he looked at each workout individually and didn't even look ahead to what was coming. Do this workout to the best of your ability because you are fit enough and you are strong enough to do this. Then get that one out of the way, move to the next one, and focus on just that workout and do it to the best of your ability. In your thought process, in our discussions, I get the indication that maybe you look at the weekend as a whole and you know where your strengths and weaknesses are, and you try to attack and damage control where you need to. Have you ever thought about the other process that Logan switched to?
Yeah, no, you just bring that up. That's kind of funny. So I think it's not so much I look at the whole weekend. I know that, these 2 workouts I need to capitalize on. In a way, yes, I know that. And I think you need to know that. Any athlete, you need to keep your strengths. But I found myself kind of what he was saying is I wouldn't say conserving energy for the next workouts to come, but it was more of my mindset. I was giving my mind to the other workouts. So, sorry, something popped up. But so we did how the weekend went. I went workout 3 first, the clean and jerk 1 on Thursday, and then we did this 12-minute AMRAP, the double Dutch one. But so I found myself thinking a lot on the double, just the jump rope. I'm thinking about the second workout when I hadn't even done the first workout. And so it wasn't so much, I'm saving my energy for it. It was, I'm putting on my mental energy for the second one, which I haven't even done this first one yet, which is one I need to do well on because it's not quote unquote one of my strengths. And I think I had good practice and I was proud of myself of catching myself and then being okay, no, don't worry about that. We got to worry about this one first. We got to put all our energy at this one. But in general, the theme of it is every workout at a time, like this workout and then the next workout. And I remember it was like a handful a while ago. It was one of old Josh Bridges YouTube videos he had, but he brought up something like that, right? Like that it could be so overwhelming to, look at your day of training as a whole, right? If you're training for semis or for the games and just be overwhelmed to be like, oh gosh, I have so much more to do, rather than, breaking it in, being quote unquote, be where your feet are, and just do one piece or one session at a time and just focus on what you are doing now. And then just check the list or check the box off and then go to the next, check the box off. And then before you know it, okay, the weekend's over, quarterfinals are over, and you didn't waste any of your mental energy on the woulda, coulda, shouldas of something that you haven't even done yet. So like kudos for him for realizing that. And I could relate to what he was saying, because I think I found myself doing like a similar thing this weekend of just kind of catching myself and just, not, like I said, it's not all about even giving, like I said, his sounded like, and like, if I'm misquoting him, but like giving up his physical energy. Like me on my side was, I'm not trying to give my mental energy away to things, to the next event that's not even there yet. So
Yeah, I don't even think it was giving up his physical. It was about that each workout is hard in its own right and needs its sole focus.
yeah.
And
absolutely.
if you are not solely focused on that one workout, it's going to come up and bite you.
Yep.
And you can't lend any mental, physical, or anything to the other workout until you're done with this one. And my follow-up to him was that as we move forward in this season, right, he's going on to semis just like you. Now you're going to know all the workouts before you get there, because they're going to be all the same workouts for everybody. You're going to have weeks almost probably to prepare. Then how do you compartmentalize all those workouts? So just like every coach says in their cliche speech, that you take it one game at a time.
Yeah.
One play at a time, one workout at a time.
I guess it's some of those cliches are still cliches for a reason, so they hold truth to them. Yeah. And
So,
I think semis,
you've got that same thing coming.
And I think it's a little bit different when it's, obviously what you said, semis to quarters, because like, right, quarters, you kind of get them thrown all at once and the day of, and you got to go, right? I think some comforting, some you can find some comfort in semis of knowing the workouts prematurely, or at least most of them. And so, like I say, you're testing them out. You're doing intervals of them just to kind of like to also prepare yourself. But like you get to run through it and be like, okay, this is what most likely I'm going to expect here and here and here. Which I think there's more comfort in that than, it's not like we're testing these quarterfinal workouts. We're just seeing them, hitting them, and going, which if your plan is go to the games, like you should, it shouldn't be an issue. You shouldn't have to do that. You should just hit these once, at most twice, if you had to mess up here. But once again, it shouldn't be too big of a deal to move on to the next stage and to maximize your workouts just on your one go around.
So let's move on to semis. You're going to be in Pasadena in 2 months. What do the next 2 months look like for you? Is this where everything gets dialed down even another notch? What does a typical day look like coming up?
Yeah. Well, like I said, this is going to be the first time I'm attacking semis and, not having to go into UPS and, manage a whole shift. Like this is the first time where, theoretically I have sunrise to sundown to put into my training. I'm setting, like I said, this whole week's kind of been a deload-ish week, just resting up, just kind of getting prepared to, go and get into the trenches for the next few months. So I've kind of, I've indulged a little bit here and there. Like I've had some French toast the past 2 days in a row. And before this podcast, I made some more. So, but telling myself,
was it made with your homemade sourdough?
Not the sourdough. So I made olive bread. So it's stupid good. So still homemade, still made from the heart, but, I told myself, "Yep, probably you're not gonna be really enjoy it now for this week because once hitting next week, we're dialing it all in when it comes to obviously working out, time management, nutrition, um, and all the above." So, you need those times. Like anything, you need time to decompress and kinda get ready to go to war a little bit. Um, but yeah, obviously, I'm assuming talking with Elle, like, we'll be training more than I was when I was working. So that's exciting. And also it's new, so it'll be a little bit of learning curve because I've never been in the gym for 3 sessions a day for being in there for 6, 8 hours. Like I've been close to that, but not just solely investing all your time into it. Um, and then still having to balance, the work, like being a coach myself and having athletes myself and taking care of them. So it'll be new, it'll be fun, but I'm ready for it.
How much of it's going to be simulating kind of a competition day, right? Like I think if I remember correctly, when you were working, you had to kind of compress your training into a smaller amount of time during the day. Where when you get to semis, there could be a morning workout, there could be a mid-afternoon workout, and then an evening workout. Are you going to do some training in all of those kind of spots during the day to be ready for semis?
I think that's just more the sheer like what's the word I'm looking for? But just like the nature of it, right? Like we're not if you have all day to train and work out, you are most likely just naturally going to do it as about like you can't just bust out 6 hours in a row of just straight intense training, right? So I think it it just kind of lends its way to being pretty similar, to how a competition would work of, a morning session, whatever that may be. Yeah, middle afternoon session, whatever that may be, and then, an afternoon session. Um and obviously that could vary. Maybe you do two just larger ones one day because you're getting ready. So I don't think it's like it's so much intentional, and I could totally be wrong, but I think it's just more just like the sheer nature of just your physiology of just what you can take in and what you can produce out and just having to, refuel in between, do all the thing, body care and all that. So, uh, yeah, I don't think there's too much of a learning curve on that. Cause I don't know, something that's I found comforting, like when it comes to like working out competitions is like, you know what, when it's all said and done, prep's all done, it's still who's fitter, you or me? And are like, I'm gonna beat you because I'm fitter. Like it's um and I've just found comfort in that. Just kind of like in the end, it's just everything like yes, you stack the needle, move the needle as much as you can, in your training and your off season. But when it's all said and done, it's like who's who's fitter, who's better, and let's just go for it.
So you mentioned refueling and recovering. Like, what does body work change? Do you get a lot more of that recovery stuff in now? Because this is where you have to like be the healthiest. Also, kind of getting into the peak of the season.
True, it's a good point. So yeah, compared to back when I was working, um, yeah, didn't have so much the time that I probably should have put into it. Like, right, it was wake up, work out, get your working out in, and then go run to work, and then run back and work out for another few more hours, and then it's 8:30 at night. It's like, oh, it's really hard for me to kind of want to stretch for another 30 minutes when I just want to go home and I got to do it all over again. So definitely have more time on that. And once again, I've been working on being intentional with it because sometimes it's like you're done working out and you're just tired and you just want to go home and eat, and it's like, oh no, I probably need to work on my body um before I go home. So I think it's like more of like a mental, I don't want to say battle, but just like it's just different of having to like say, hey, this is why you left, so you could do these things because this is what you weren't able to do before. So capitalize on them and get the most out of them now. Uh, but yeah, more like I said, well, you had a good point too. Is like it's not obviously training really hard, but you got to be able to not have any injuries. I know we've talked about I think before in the podcast, like I think every single time, like right at the week or two before like a competition, whether it was semis last year or Wadapalooza this year, like it was, I'm feeling really good in training, and then all of a sudden just some random tweak happens the week before that had nothing to do really with even training, and then now you're sitting there like, well, this sucks. Like I can't even go in 100%. So that's something I got to honestly probably put a little note in my truck or something, just knowing that we're going to go in with no little aches or pinches or pains this time. Like we're going to finally go in feeling the body 100%.
So we talked over quarters weekend that you are the CrossFit baker, and that you cook your sourdough, a couple loaves every week. What is, and we're just finishing up the interview now with just some fun stuff. What is the best thing that you bake?
So, good question. Because I don't venture too much off of my sourdough, mainly because traditional baking probably isn't the stuff you want to be fueling your body with. Best thing I bake, like well, I know. So I made so it's spelled Challa, challah, but I think it's pronounced challah bread. But and like I said, I could come off very ignorant right there, but that's what also I've dabbled with a little bit. It's like this kind of Swedish, kind of Jewish bread, and that's what I made my French toast with yesterday and today. And it's pretty darn good. So I'll have to somehow make some of that and bring it to. I'll probably most likely bring sourdough with me to Pasadena, because I kind of always just travel. I always kind of travel with some bread because I'll need it for the week. I could tell you I make a mean freaking steak though. Like, so I'm the cooker, I'm the chef in the family. Like I make all of our food, which I like doing. But like once again, I'm a type of person that once I learn, or when I'm going to do something, I'm going to try to be the best at it, or try to be just very well informed. So like, when it came to sourdough, I'm going to learn how to make this properly, or the best methods, or the best ingredients, all this. And then when it came to like cooking meats, so steaks or whatever, not, it's like, oh, I'm going to learn how to do this, like Michelin star chefs kind of do it and whatnot. And so,
so are you a like iron skillet pan seared steak guy, or are you a grill?
Absolutely. Definitely. I'm more of like, cast iron, searing it both sides. I would definitely want to dabble into like reverse searing with, like a traditional kind of smoker and whatnot, but it's more, like it seems like something easy, but it just feels like there's so much, I don't have the time. Like, right. It feels like it's so much effort for me to walk outside and turn on the grill and wait and cook dinner, when it's like, oh, I can just do this on a pan, on a cast iron, and I can do it in 6 minutes. And so it's like those little things add up. So maybe in the future days when we're in retirement, I'll absolutely get into that, because I definitely want to. But yeah, cast iron steak, way to go. Like I said, I tell all my friends, like, I'm sorry, once I cook you steak, if you go to a steakhouse, it'll be trash for the rest of your life. Like it'll, you go to Cattleman's or you go to Longhorn Steakhouse, it's just, I'm sorry, like I can do it better. Sometimes I walk in there and I'm like, can I just go can I cook my own steak real quick? Cause like, I don't trust you guys. I know what I'm doing. So I have
you're that friend.
What's that?
You're telling me in Pasadena, I need to either get like a suite with a full kitchen, or a hotel with an outdoor grill, so we can hang out and do our interview while you're making a steak.
We can do it all. I can have, the bread. Well, the bread will be probably meat pre-made. I don't have time to make it there, but I'll cook us up some steaks for sure. I always stay in a B&B or something with the kitchen, like you have to, at least. Well, I don't have to, but for me, it's just easier. I see some people still, like athletes, top end, they stay in hotels. And I'm like, man, how do you guys do that? Because like, I don't know. I just can't physically. I need to cook. I need to cook and all that. And then I look at it and like, oh, all you guys actually have sponsors, so it makes sense. You guys get your food free. I don't. I got to go cook it and and make it. But yeah, I always make sure I'm in a B&B or somewhere with the kitchen Because also more comforting. I don't know. I think the more you can get your environment more like just where you're comfortable, a home or your home, that there's benefit in that and all those little things.
Yeah, we always try to get like into a suites, like Embassy Suites or whatever that has the full kitchen or an Airbnb.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, Wadapalooza was the greatest setup ever.
Really?
I don't know how we lucked into that place, but damn, I'll never stay anywhere else.
Was
when
it
I'm in Miami?
A suite, or would you find a B&B?
Oh, it was like a full apartment, like 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. Kat and I were down there. So we each had like half the apartment to ourselves. And then it had like a communal kitchen, dining room, and living room. And like a nice balcony overlooking the bay.
Really? Yeah, that's sweet. That is sweet.
Yeah, it was, that was definitely money. Craig Passley says hi, giving you the wave.
I didn't see his comment pop up. I didn't see that on the bottom.
I didn't pop it up. I can pop it up for you though.
I didn't know you. That's good. That's the whole other thing. Besides, I don't understand. I thought those just automatically came up, and I didn't know you had to do that.
No, it's all me, man. It's all the magic.
There you go. Hey, it is the magic, honestly.
Well, gosh, man. Now my mouth is watering, and I want to get to Pasadena tomorrow. But
I'll just forget those ribeyes ready. Some celebratory ribeyes when we're checking our games.
After you make it to the games, man. Yeah.
Damn right.
Well, cool. Well, Matt, man, this has been fun so far. The journey is not over. Like I said to you and Abigail, love to get you guys on to talk about your testimony over the next couple months as we get closer to semis. And I'd like to do that show as well. But with this, we'll keep in touch. I'm sure over the next couple months, if something pops up, we'll bring you back on. If not, I will see you in Pasadena for sure. And watch you kill it out there on the floor, man.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. That'll be fun. Excited to see what CrossFit does, how the whole of the event was ran. I've never been in a 60-person comp, so they'll be kind of...
Well, the rumors floating are 15-person heats.
Okay. That's what I think. Ashley McMains, she's like my undercover, just CrossFit info person. Like, she just somehow knows all of the things that are coming up or what's in the grapevine and whatnot. So she's always texting me and Abigail. She's like, oh, this is what I'm hearing. Or like, this is what, somehow she knew what, like Vellner got on the last work or one of the workouts. And so she like texted me before, hey, this is what Vellner got in this workout. You need to beat this. I'm like, all right, cool. But, so yeah, she
it is amazing. It is amazing when you earn people's trusts, what they'll share with you.
Yeah, true.
I have to keep such tight lips over what I know. It's crazy. But yeah, the 15-person heats, I cannot confirm. I have no definite confirmation on that. It's just what I'm hearing.
I would assume it would have to be like, I was assuming bigger heats anyways. There's no way you're running 6 heats of 10. Like that's all day long. Like I was thinking maybe something like 20, right? We do 20 at kind of Wadapalooza. They do 20 at the games. But I remember you saying that, how like it's just a pain to try to, you don't know what's going on. Like you can't focus in on the people you want to, too many. So not that this is what this is about. And Logan and I kind of got into this last night. This is the opportunity for CrossFit to blow up. If they treat these semifinals like they should be treated, they should be sold out. The place should be packed, and they should put on a show that grows this sport with those opportunities. BKG was on another show saying that this year is the biggest competition that Europe will ever have seen in CrossFit, because you have every elite European athlete in one competition, in one place at one time, and it is going to blow up. Like they're almost looking at that as big as the games to them, because winning Europe is going to mean something. Yeah, absolutely.
And if CrossFit does that for the North American regionals as well, because you have, like, you look at some of these lineups, it is murderer's row.
You know,
And
you're right. The stigma was that, like, you know, the East is stacked and the West is, you know, not as stacked. I'm looking at our rosters. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, they're both stacked, man. Like, you think, because you think one person's in this region, but then, oh, they're actually over here because, you know, that's where they actually live. And I look at it more. I'm like, it's gonna be hard no matter where you're at, but like they're all stacked. Like, come on now, the sport's freaking.
you go to the West Regional, it's as close as you will ever be to Justin Medeiros, Pat Vellner, Brent Fikowski, Matt Poulin, Nick Matthew, Sam Quant, all these great athletes, right? Because not the security, I don't want to say it like that. It's just a more intimate feel than the games.
Do you know where it's like the place that it's the semis are at? Have they? I haven't looked into it. I just know it's in Pasadena. But just Pasadena, has it been somewhere where like CrossFit's done events before, or is this totally new?
Both are totally new.
Okay. What is it a state? Almost, it's like some form of arena, stadium. Don't know if you know. I can always do my research too.
I don't. I think it's an arena, from what I'm understanding, but I don't know.
Pasadena, they rented out the Rose Bowl, and we're doing it in the Rose Bowl. We're
it is not the Rose Bowl. I can confirm it's not the Rose Bowl.
Watching CrossFit.
That would be a horrible experience for the fans.
Yeah, up in the nosebleeds.
Who's that little mini guy?
Exactly.
Who's that little?
But hey, what's the difference between that and football, though? Right? Still probably like they're still so small.
Football, you see the whole play move, and really knowing who the one person that catches it is not that important. Just that they did and they scored.
Yeah.
Where in CrossFit, it's you want to know who is who in the lanes.
True, it's individual sport, individualized. Yeah, not so definitely. But I'll look into that. We'll see where it's at. I was surprised it wasn't like in right. They used to do the old regionals in San Diego, right? That one spot. Like that's before my time, but I know that's where they did it. So I was surprised they didn't go back there. Or they have some history.
Yeah.
But
I think it was scheduling. They had the dates firm and had to go with places that were open on those dates.
Yeah.
That's another rumor. I cannot verify that.
So we're going to have to find out where exactly it's at. It has to be something that accommodates, like I said, a good stage. Like
actually, now that you say that, tonight I will look it up. I'll look up the arenas and I'm sure there's pictures and seating charts. And
I know Pasadena. I don't know if it's like one of those small universities there or something. I don't know what.
I think it's a civic center. And maybe that's the Orlando one. I don't know. I know one of them is a civic center.
Okay. Yeah, we got some homework to do.
So
not the biggest of deal, but it'd be interesting to know. Give us an idea how things are set up.
Sure will. All right, Matt. Well, you have a great weekend. Enjoy that French toast while you can. And next week, get after that training, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir.
Bye, brother.